Extra, extra, read all about it. Welcome to the Empire's Recap, and today we will be going over the chaos and drama of our somewhat respected rulers. This week, thieves abound. Some righteous, some mistaken, some selling entire bases, apparently. Home sweet home. With everyone finally returned to their proper servers, Pixelriff sets himself the task of preserving Hermitopia in a giant glass case. It won't exactly fit in the museum after all. He's been buying glass from the villagers inside to refill his preservation kit without leveling the nearest desert. Even 5 extra shulkers of glass just barely gets the box off the ground, though. He's gonna need more emeralds. On his quick stop back home, Pix finds and returns one of the ambassadors of Chromia to the embassy on the bridge, only to find that neither of them are missing. An imposter? He shakes it off, running a harvest of David and revealing plans for an automatic loading and unloading system, as well as a full tutorial once he's happy with it. Finally, everyone can have a David of their own. To get emeralds for villagers, Pix plans to borrow the use of the raid farm impulse left behind. He checks in at dawn, the nearest empire, but Gem's a bit busy right now, so the next best choice is Ollie across the ocean, who, well...
I really need to use the raid farm because it just churns out emeralds and I need them to buy glass so that I can make Hermitopia somewhat safe.
Well, you've raised me a quandary, Pixelriffs. What is a raid farm? I didn't even know he had a raid farm.
Yeah, I didn't until the hermits came here and built one. Let me show you. Come this way.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Ollie happily accepts enough ownership of the raid farm to charge Pixelriffs 2 diamonds for its usage, and Pixelriff soon has all the emeralds he needs to get all the glass he needs. It takes several days and about 35 shulkerfuls of glass in the end, but Hermitopia is finally gloriously encased. He'll figure out the nameplate part later.
A big expansion is on its way in Tumbletown. Jimmy has built a new watering hole, Ollie gifted a tent to the sheriff, and 2 new buildings for future projects have been constructed. Over at Sheriff HQ, Jimmy notices a wanted poster covering the front door by the Empire's Ministry of Defense. And knock knock, it's the law. The sheriff takes his business over to the Evermore. Jimmy welcomes himself in, against Shelby's wishes, and claims that she did nothing. All those potions rumors were a lie. The witch is also not open to questions and starts attacking Jimmy and killing him in cold blood.
You'll never take me alive.
No! Don't! No! Wait! No!
Sorry, Jimmy!
Don't do it!
Stop moving! Oh, you're so small!
I'm hitting! I've got pains in my hand! Oh!
Further into the week, Jimmy takes a trip to Chromia to take revenge on Scott for selling the black market deputy badges. He begins with an insane plan, and one that could not be pulled off without being caught. Whilst the sheriff was setting up to sell the entirety of Chromia to mass amounts of buyers, Scott discovers Jimmy's plan and explains who the real seller of the deputy badges was: Flip. Finally, Jimmy informs Scott he must take down the black market and that he will be checking next week, just in case Scott chooses to ignore the law. Let's see how that really plays out.
You'd have thought undoing the work of tens of llamas would actually take quite a while. Me. I thought that, and then was correct.
Scott has finally finished with de-oranging Chromia, but during this cleaning spree he finds some netherite scrap and a stack and a half of diamonds in Pearl's chests. Since she's not here anymore to take them back, it's not really stealing, right? Stealing is profit, and Pearl's house isn't the only place where thievery happens. Scott goes to check on the underground market, but it seems Jimmy spies him heading underground. The man is very displeased at this secret market, especially the selling of his deputy badges. Scott decides to skip town for a little, go back to his roots, maybe avoid the law for a while. Stealing from the wild is better anyways, because anyone annoyed about it usually doesn't know where you live. He flies a while out and finds a cave to delve down into, following the water as it flows deeper and deeper. Eventually, he comes across a crystal cave. Not amethyst, though. Of course, he has to have them. There's a whole cave full of these colorful crystals, and he has so many questions. That's for later, though. Now, it's time to steal a cave. Well, relocate may be a better word, as all he does is remake the cave directly under the Chromia fountain. He imitates the cave slightly, but adds a few things that weren't in the previous ones, like water. Presumably the crystals will like that, considering where they're from. If, the crystals are sentient, of course.
Gosh, can you imagine I put this here and it drains all the color from Chromia? That would be wild. Don't worry, that's not foreshadowing.
He makes sure to hide it well, and nobody else needs to know about the crystals anyways. All he wants to do now is figure out what these crystals could be used for.
Pirating and pranking is hungry work. Joey could use a snack. He pops into his guardian shop to check on sales and grab some fish to eat. Hang on, where's all the fish? It's gone from the chest and not a single diamond paid for it. Someone must have stolen all the fish. But who would steal fish of all things? Joey has an idea, so he sneaks into Animalia to pay back the likely thief. Mayor Lizzie's fondness for fish didn't go unnoticed. He plans to repay the favor by kidnapping the beloved Ariana Gauthier from the council right under Lizzie's nose and playing a little game with her. He builds a barn, sets and tests a kidnapping railroad, and leads another goat into it first. Miss Ariana Gauthier needs a partner for this prank to work. With Ariana successfully snatched, Joey breeds the two goats and renames both them and the children as various goat-themed pop stars. In the process, he almost forgets which goat is really Ariana, which would make the next part very difficult. Before Joey can write instructions and leave, however, Lizzie shows up. Guess a railroad leading from the Animalia council room directly to the barn isn't hard to find. Ever adaptable, Joey explains the trick himself. Lizzie's not very good at guessing, but the real Ariana's unmistakable voice saves things in the end. And it turns out Lizzie wasn't the pescatarian purloiner anyways. Back in Eversea, Joey remembers he'd moved the fish into barrels about 10 feet to the right of where they used to be. Whoopsie!
And with that, join us next week for more chaos and shenanigans. Thank you for watching, liking and subscribing, and thanks to everyone helping out with the project. Check them all out down below.